Hello and welcome back to the land of SIKA, and here we go. What we're actually going to do is we're going to make peace straight with the Prowan right up. Oh, I thought I had enough. Okay. Never mind. All right. I literally was 80 influence away from being able to force through the peace agreement. Oh well, never mind. All right. I guess I'm just going to have to get a little bit more influence. And you know what that means? That means actually going into a battle here against these fellows, and we're going to see what we can do. I was actually tempted to press on the auto-resolve button there, but yeah, that's probably a little bit ill-advised, isn't it? Yeah, it's probably not the best idea to go ahead and do that, but yes, whatever the case, let's do this. And, this is going to be pretty simple, I think. Obviously, we haven't really fought the LOMOCA that much in the field, so I'm not sure if it's really going to prove too difficult, but of course we have fought a number of other factions with many more units, so should be absolutely fine. But the LOMOCA have had opportunities to try and, well, gain power in a number of different aspects, and maybe it's actually going to be, you know, a bit more difficult than we anticipate, but who knows. Anyway, I'm just very much hoping that the Prowan are not going to continually attack us in places that we can't possibly defend. So that's going to be kind of irritating, because if they actually take my very own fiefs that I have been attempting, well, basically holding the entire time that we have had our own faction, that would be pretty bad if they took those. But yeah, I guess I can't really determine that. You know, sometimes you can kind of change the course of a particular faction's advance if you are lucky enough to have that ability. Unfortunately for me at the moment, I do not. I am just way too far away to be able to affect them in the least. So the only thing I can really hope for is some of my own people actually doing something. And I'm very much hoping that my vassals are going to head over, possibly to defend against the Prowan. It's highly unlikely that they are, in my opinion, but you know, it's either it's one or the other. Basically, I would prefer if they go and try to take some of the LOMOCA's fiefs. That would be fantastic. That would be really useful for us. But as it stands, I personally don't think they're going to be doing that. I think they're more than likely just going to be running around fighting random armies here and there and everywhere, and that's not really going to help us. I mean, you know, come on. That's not really going to help us at all. So that's a bit problematic, but of course, that is really just what we have to face. You know, the AI is just going to make those kinds of decisions a lot of the time, and definitely not something that I am too pleased about. But, you know, sometimes you just can't really do much about it. And wait a minute. I think we're pretty, I think we're pretty good to actually just speed through the rest of this battle. Shouldn't have to worry too much about that. And I think we're going to lose a very small amount of units, in fact, as well. Although, even if we did lose units, it's not even a big deal, because I can just go over to my settlement and buy a bunch more. And that's the reason why having a massive amount of money is really useful. Anyway, we're just going to be letting every single one of these go, and we're also going to be rescuing a bunch of my own forces, as you can see. Aha, rejoin the others and let's be off. I'll need you to lead a party. We could actually give him some people. This would actually make a whole bunch of sense. So what we're going to do is we're literally just going to give him... We're going to give him 120 eggplants. Alright? We're going to give him 120 eggplants, because I want to see what actually happens with him. Because he's going to have so many units right now. I'm very much hoping that he's going to be able to do something with them. Something a little bit more useful than you know, what you might expect a party leader to do. I mean, we could always, you know, try to get him into our very own army. We could actually ask him to join us, potentially. But I don't know whether I want to do that. I mean, that's the safe thing, okay? That is definitely the safe thing, and would more than likely prevent him from being eliminated. But I'm kind of curious, you know? I'm kind of curious about what would happen with that. Anyway, we're just going to take all the troops here. Unfortunately, nothing amazing for us. So we're just going to have to take all the things. Whoa, that's a lot of stuff. Alright, yeah, they just gave me massive amounts of grain, as you can quite clearly tell, and massive amounts of fish as well. So I'm just going to get rid of most of that. And then we are just going to move on over into our little town here. Actually, no, into my settlement. And we're going to go into the garrison, just place a bunch of units in there. And you know what I really should have been doing? If I was smart, okay, which, I think we've kind of come to the conclusion that I'm not that smart, let's face it. But if I was, then I would have probably done a pretty decent thing about placing massive amounts of custom units in the garrison at my settlement. So if the worst were to happen, and I'm talking about the absolute worst thing in the world that you can think of, in other words, losing my entire army, losing all of my companions, let's just say that there's a freak accident of some kind and they all die, which is obviously very unlikely, I mean extremely unlikely, maybe even impossible some cases, but here's the thing, let's just say that that all happens, then you're going to have something in reserve, and that is very, very important. So anyway, let's just actually recruit a bunch. I'm going to get 120, which is going to cost me 344,000. That's actually not even as much as I anticipated. I thought we were going to have to spend a lot more, but now we're back up to full strength. And we also have U-Core over there running around with 120 eggplants. I mean, really, he cannot be stopped, surely. Surely he is just too powerful for anyone, right? We can only hope. Cross our fingers and hope that that is indeed the case. Anyway, let's just move on to Koyamaha right here, because we need to make actually a bit of sense here with the Minavina. Minavina is attempting to take it, of course. We want to make sure that she is unsuccessful. Thank you. There we go. Eliminate her. There we are. And we will be letting her go. As I've said before, generally the best thing for us to do right now is to just try and get as much relation as possible with these people so that they can just join me if they want to. Obviously, I've heard a number of cases in the past where basically relation doesn't matter. I'm not entirely sure about this personally, but apparently some people have said that relation does not matter when vassals consider whether to join a particular faction. And for me personally, I'm a little bit skeptical. I don't know whether that's actually the case, but if it is, where they just ignore relation, then that's absolutely fine, because we have a lot of territory, we have a lot of money, and generally, I feel like even if relation doesn't matter, people will more than likely want to join our faction as it is, because we just have so much stuff going on with us right now. We're looking pretty decent, right? We're looking pretty decent. So anyway, point is, we are now going to try and sweep over this particular portion of territory, and the LOMOCA have now lost their complete base of operations, which was, of course, those 3 towns right next to our settlement. That was generally, in my opinion at least, where their majority power base was. And now they don't have that. So now we're doing pretty well. We're not doing too badly in regards to that, because that makes it so that they have to now scramble around in Yarian territory, because obviously that's where they have expanded to. You know, if you recall, they actually declared war against the Yarians at the same time as when we were there, you know, totally deep in Yarian territory, and the LOMOCA were taking advantage of our incursion into their territory and making it just so much easier for them to take things, because we had already eliminated a bunch of the enemy's vassals. So that's exactly where they're at now, and that's the reason why they probably did that in the first place. You know, they wanted to make sure that they would get a decent advantage. I'm actually gonna... Oh, wow, we're gonna get up here with taking minimal damage? Are you serious? Hello. Okay, I'm just gonna jump off. There's no real point in me mincing words or actions here. I want to make sure that we just get down there super fast. And these guys really want to fight me? Are you serious? I am literally using one of the most powerful weapons in the game, even though, haha, I am actually dying. Okay, there we go. Ah, yes. See, now look at you. Now you are running away. This is exactly what happens. And I will be shooting every single one of them. There we go. Oh, no, he's not dead. Okay, now he's dead. Okay, fantastic. And I don't even know where the enemies are, actually. That would probably be a good... Oh, hello. Oh, wow. Okay, this is a pretty decent idea. Just going to get out my polearm. This is a little bit quicker. Does have a bit more DPS, or damage per second. And even though the bow is a bit safer, I think this is much, much more effective at the moment. There we go. And if we get some more enemies coming along here, this is going to be a nice little place for us to just farm some kills. Although, to be fair, farming experience at this point in the game is probably not even that useful, to be honest. Considering we are already kind of maxed out, it's a bit difficult for us to level up any further than we already have, which is really sad in my opinion. You know, eventually there's always going to be that point in Mount & Blade, and I'm not even talking about just Bannerlord here, I'm talking about in general. The franchise seems to have a bit of an issue with this. Obviously, they don't want you to be infinitely scalable. Of course, that's the case, because eventually a person in real life is also going to hit their skill ceiling, whatever it may be. You know, so obviously that's realistic. But even so, I would love to be able to have a bit more, you know, just a little bit more to enable us to have some more skill points and things. But then we may be crossing into superhuman territory, and, well, that's a little bit of a, yeah, no, not particularly applicable to this, you know, this era of time. I mean, obviously, if we're playing, you know, if we're playing in a sci-fi mod, or we're playing in a fantasy mod, or something like that, then, yeah, 100%, you know, please do, you know, increase the effective experience that you're going to be, you know, earning, and, you know, maybe increasing the amount of skill points you get and so on and so forth. But generally, if you're playing a somewhat low fantasy mod or very realistic medievally sort of thing, then of course the way that it works right now is perfectly fine. I'm having some issues here actually. I am getting slowly pecked to death. Death by 1,000 cuts, as they say. Not a big fan of that. This guy is actually doing a real good number on me, surprisingly enough. Considering he was just a garrison infantry, I'm really surprised. Okay, there we go. Yeah, these guys actually seem to be a lot more effective than anticipated. Woohoo, okay, we actually managed to survive. Can you imagine how fast I would have died if I didn't have the increased HP? That's actually incredible. That actually speaks volumes about how much you really need to take cover, and how soon I would have died. Because in the base game of Bannerlord, I'm going to have a minimum of 100 HP. And in this, I have, I think, almost 400. So I have 4 times the amount of experience. No, 4 times the amount of HP than I would have in the base game. And that's pretty scary, actually, if you think about it. Because if you're wanting to have fun and go into a siege and actually, you know, take part in the visceral fighting that is going to go on inside the walls, you're going to very, very easily come across these kinds of situations where you just die. You just die, and you can't really do much about it, unfortunately. So, anyway, I'm probably going to start taking less loot from now on, because if I go over my encumbrance level, then that's obviously not particularly good. But let's actually just continue selling the lowest value gear that I can. And as you can see, I'm still making massive money. Yes, okay. And let's actually see. Ooh, they still haven't completed all of their improvements. That's really weird. Okay, I would have expected them to do that much, much earlier. All right. There was actually a horse there that I thought maybe I want to get, but I don't think it's actually necessary. Okay, so let's just go in here. Boom. Put those guys in there, and then we're just going to rush out and try and engage the person with 100. No. Apparently that's not going to work. Yes, that's a bit problematic, isn't it? Yes, I would have loved to have been able to do that, but oh well, never mind. I guess I'm just going to have to be hyper-aggressive here, and I'm talking about very, because we really do not have the opportunity to wait around. We need to make sure that we are taking things over and over and over again, because if we don't do that, we're going to become stagnant, and we're just going to get stuck in the same the same loop of gameplay that we will always see, which is basically just, oh, we took this, it's gotten taken back. We took that, the same thing again, and then it got taken back, and so on and so forth. So of course it would be a good idea for us to try and be a little bit more dynamic in our decision making, I suppose. You know, try to make sure that we expand more than we lose. You know, that kind of thing. Anyway, I would love to be able to make peace with the Prowan now. I actually think I will do that straight away. Let's just do that right now. There we go. Because we actually have 70% support for the peace agreement now, so that's actually amazing. And now the LOMOCA are basically done. There's not much they can do against us because we've just taken Tianlong from the Prowan, which is actually really quite amazing. And we had 2 armies over here, if I didn't zoom in so incredibly far. But yeah, we had 2 armies over there that were actually taking things from the Prowan, but I really do want to misdirect them over to where we are right now so that they can actually do something to assist us against the LOMOCA. I'm thinking that this fellow is actually going to want to try and get into a sally out situation with us. Okay, wait a minute. We might have a bit of an issue here. I have very little HP. Ooh, okay. Right, okay. This is going to be interesting. I'm really surprised he did this. Because all things considered, it would have made so much more sense for him to wait until this army over here came over, and then they could have gone in with over, what, over 1,300 enemies? Yeah, that would have made much more sense, but apparently he just wanted to go straight on in. It kind of made no sense whatsoever there. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so let's actually see what happens. I'm very low in HP, so this is going to be a bit uncomfortable. Because now I'm going to need to play much more conservatively than I would have wanted to, and that's always annoying, so let's see what I can do. Maybe we'll be okay, you know? But the LOMOCA do have some pretty decent archers as far as I can tell. I don't think they have anything too amazing, but it's definitely going to be a bit of a pain. And especially considering they do have wonderful polearm-based units as well, so it's going to be very hard for me to use my own melee weapon. Yep, that's all she wrote. Alright, yeah. I actually thought that 100% I was going to survive this, but then as soon as I thought that, 10 seconds later, boom. That's the death. Ah, sad, sad. Alright, well, it's okay. It's okay. We had some pretty cool little kill streaks going on there. I did manage to kill 34 enemies, but of course that's really very pathetic. I mean, 34, you know, at this point in the game, I should really be killing so much more. Just generally because I have such high skills. Not my own personal skills, of course, but my character skills. And generally, I would have been able to probably easily get over 50. Maybe even more than that, but thankfully my forces were able to achieve victory relatively simply, and now we're just going to have to be a bit careful about what's going to happen going forward. I'm going to let every single one of them go. As I said before, I don't think relation, apparently people say that relation doesn't matter, so again, I don't know whether that's actually the case. I don't know why there would be a relation system in the game if it didn't matter, but whatever. I'm just going to play on the safe side, I guess, and then just see what happens. You know, if they decide to join us, then that's absolutely great and fantastic, and if they don't, then they don't. But, yeah. Anyway, I'm now at 1% HP, which I've got to say I'm pretty annoyed about. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go. Let me see what's going on here with my food situation. We're just going to get rid of a bunch of the grain. And there we have it. Okay, that was easy enough, wasn't it? Alright, so, yeah, as I said, we're at 1% HP now. This is going to be very difficult for us to continue. I can't actually do that. All things considered, I cannot actually continue the siege here because I will not be able to participate in the battle. And you can see quite clearly that these fellows over here, they really want to kill us. They really want to kill us super badly. So if I can just survive long enough to get away from here, then I think we should be a little... Yeah, we should be alright, you know, we should be a little bit better over here. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to try and take this castle right now. Maybe we'll be able to. Yeah, I have 411 HP. That's pretty cool. Alright, so yeah, we'll try and take the castle. There's only 400 units in here. I would have loved to have taken that town personally, but as I say, the best thing that we can do is just to continue launching attacks against a variety of locations. We do not need to actually succeed in those endeavors, even though succeeding is obviously very much preferable to failing, of course. But we've got to think about what I was talking about in a previous episode, the positive influence that you yourself can have when it comes to actual interactions on the campaign map. Because you may think, oh yes, winning battles is definitely the number one way to influence the map and make things better, you know, make things better for your faction. And yeah, sure, that's definitely one of the reasons why you might actually be able to capture more things on the map and so on and so forth. But there's also another thing, wasting time of the AI. Wasting the AI's time and their resources. That is literally one of the best things you can do. And it doesn't put... Oh, yeah, I remember this one. Doesn't have it... There's an invisible wall right there. Okay, yeah, this is problematic. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Alright, I was able to survive at least a little bit. Okay, yeah. So anyway, as I say, wasting their resources and their time is actually somewhat good. And actually, probably, as I say, maybe the best thing you can do. I mean, apart from obviously defeating them in battle, but let's just say that there's an army that's way, way, way too powerful for you. Well, wasting their time is just as good, and that generally holds true for a lot of different things. You know, if you have... What? Did you see that? We just phased through the stairs. I phased through the stairs randomly. Okay. Oh, this is ready for release, everyone. Yes, okay. I don't know what happened with that. Okay, that was very, very strange. I have not phased through the stairs ever before in Bannerlord. As you can see, I'm walking through these stairs and they're completely solid. Weird, but I was attempting to go up the stairs right there and I went right through it and then appeared on the lower level. Okay. Yeah, strange. Oh well, never mind. I should be fine. Hopefully I'm not going to die. Yeah, this is one of those times where I really, really dislike bowmen that have super fast weapons. And I mean, considering I should probably say that I dislike the fact that I'm so low in HP. That's more, that's more the thing here. Anyway, I'm actually trying to replicate this bug that I experienced because we've already won, you know, we've already won this siege, as you can quite clearly tell. So I'm just going to try and see, because I was backing away here, and I was kind of pushing against this floor here, as far as I could tell. And then I just all of a sudden was on the bottom floor here. That's really weird. That's really, really weird. I'm not entirely sure why that would have happened, but okay. I guess it was just a, you know, freak accident or something like that. Not entirely sure. Anyway, that's indeed a victory for us. And yeah, as I was talking about, wasting the opponent's time is actually really good, and that holds true for a lot of interactions in life in general. You know, someone's aggressive to you, just waste their time. You know, that's the way to do it. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. I don't really, as I say, I don't really want to continue taking loot. I have so much loot as it is that it's going to be very difficult for me to offload this at all ever. And I don't want to continue having to worry about that. So I'm just going to leave some of the loot intermittently. I'm not always going to leave loot, obviously, but I will start leaving loot. So if you see that, and if I actually do that, then you know why, and you don't need to ask me, because inevitably there will be someone. Yes. What do you bet? What do you bet? Oh well, never mind. Okay, so let's actually go over to the other castle here. Now, I 100% believe that the enemy is, of course, going to take Nakera back, which is obviously not exactly great. Can't really, I don't know, I can't really complain about that because I'm obviously not there. And they have a very significant army strength. You know, they're running around with what? I think it was like, what, 600 and 400, so easily over 1,000 units or something. So that's obviously a bit problematic. But what's really cool, and I don't know whether you've noticed this, is we have Chong-hee, who has actually started to advance into LOMOCAN territory, or former Yarian territory, shall we say. And he's also taking Dairun with him as well, which is actually fantastic, because that means they're going to work together and they're hopefully going to be able to take a bunch of things over there. There's only 2 towns there, but there's a lot of castles, so that might be a little bit of an issue for them. Also, there's one thing that I really miss from Warband: the ability to move the camera while you are in a siege. Yes, I very much miss that. Ooh, they want peace. Yep, I knew they would. I knew they would, yes. I'm not going to be giving it to them, not in a million years. Or well, shall we say, not in a couple of weeks. Not in a couple of weeks, because I think it will probably take us maybe another in-game, actually not one in-game week, probably a couple of weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, for us to be able to take all of their stuff, if they are unable to stop us. Obviously, I'm still fighting very injured at the moment. And that is not particularly good, but I think my forces can actually do the business. I think they can probably do what they need to do to finish things up, even if I do get myself eliminated. And of course, as I say, I'm always getting embroiled in battles. It doesn't matter where I am or what I'm doing, I'm always getting myself into trouble in these cases. And I mean, that's the fun, you know, that's the fun. I don't want to be standing at the back of the battlefield, just, you know, making sure that my HP is at 99%, you know, that doesn't really, that's not really fun. That's not really fun for me. But, yeah, I like doing these kinds of things where we're really low in HP. I mean, obviously don't want to be this low in HP, but, you know, being relatively low in HP and then having the, having like a sneaky little shoot here and there, I think that's super fun, because we could be killed at any moment. Obviously, I don't really want to die, if at all possible. Nice headshot. Good, good. Alright, let's just continue shooting there. There's another guy over there. Maybe I can finish him off. He's going to get me, I think. Possibly. Oh, we got him. That was amazing. There's someone else over there trying to shoot me as well. Oh, got murdered. Oh, that's sad. Okay, yeah. Who actually got me? I think it was this guy? Wait a minute. Where was I? I was over here. No, this guy. One of these people. Yeah, one of these people actually got me. Okay, well, I gotta say, props to him. Props to him. But, see, now that's the point. Those kinds of moments, that is what I'm looking for. In these kinds of situations, I'm really looking for that, because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm just overall dominating the situation every single time, because that just gets boring in my opinion. It gets, you know, a little bit repetitive and things. So I love it when we're at a really low HP value, but we're still surviving. We're just hanging on by a thread, you know. It's one of those really tense moments that you kind of, well, eventually you're gonna probably die if you're me, but if you can survive at that low HP level for an extended period of time, you will have the best story to tell. You know what I mean? It's like, it's creating that story. It's creating that legend of your character. And even if you don't have anyone to talk to about it, you know yourself, whoa, remember that siege of X place, you know, and how I survived there? You know, you think to yourself this, obviously. But obviously it's even better if you have people to talk to about that, because it's cool, you know? It's cool to share those kinds of stories. I like that. Anyway, let's see. I guess I'm just going to wait here for some time. I have so much. Yeah, I have so little HP and not enough time. Okay, yeah, so Thractorai Castle is obviously now under siege once again, as you might expect, because they obviously really want to take it back. But what's... No, I don't want to make peace. Are you serious? They almost got me with that. Did you see that? They almost got me with this. Wow. I thought I was voting on the Lavinia Castle ownership. I thought that's what I was voting on, but no, they wanted to trap me. Whoa, did you see that? That was so incredibly close. All right, thankfully... Thankfully, I noticed before I just randomly clicked. That would have been really bad. Oh well, never mind. Okay, that was a bullet dodged, if ever I saw one. Yes, very true. Okay, so Vadrios is going to go over there. That's absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I would like to see how... Why am I moving so slowly? My herd deficit is causing a problem. We just have way too many horses. So I'm just going to get rid of a bunch of these horses, as well. There we go. Is that enough? Yep. That's done a little bit to help us out. Okay, yeah, so there's 3 different armies that the LOMOCA are currently running around with, and we're going to have to do something about those. But for now, that's going to be the end of this episode. I'm actually going to be going over to Garantor Castle off-screen. I will take that, try to distract them a little bit, and then I'm obviously going to retake Thractorai Castle if that gets taken and so on. But we also have a bunch of our own forces behind enemy lines attempting to take all these castles as well. Look at how many castles they have. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? 8 castles in this area? That's crazy. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.